It's the off season, it's trade season, is leading to the draft season, and we now have rumors around the Dallas Mavericks targeting Lonzo Ball and the Bulls targeting RJ Barrett. One of those is believable, one is not. But we'll discuss it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. And so we got some updates. One comes from Mark Stein, which is, I take Mark Stein more seriously. One comes from a source that is just not quite believable in regards to RJ Barrett, but we're going to discuss it all and more. You guys know sometimes with having the channel, it is being a myth buster is what needs to happen there. So you got to bust some rumors from time to time. But the one that is believable, Mark Stein talked about today in his Substack, a lot of potential targets that the Dallas Mavericks are prepared to make offers for at the point guard position. For those that have been hiding under, I don't even know where you've been hiding at this point. Kyrie Irving is going to be out. He's going to miss a nice portion of the season. So that the Dallas Mavericks are looking for a point guard in there to kind of fill in with time during that time and potentially be a bench player once Kyrie Irving does return. We also heard that the Dallas Mavericks are open or signing a new long-term deal with Kyrie Irving. So take that forever you will. But the 2 point guards that were mentioned there, or 3 point guards that were mentioned for the Dallas Mavericks were one, Jrue Holiday, who has a huge contract and would be a huge contract to move, but reportedly that the Dallas Mavericks are willing to part with one of or either PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford in a trade that gets them a point guard. And so that's basically what they're looking to use. Jrue Holiday is a target. Chris Paul is a free agent target since he will be a free agent at the end of the year, even though he's a little bit longer in the tooth as a veteran. And then Mark Stein mentioned Lonzo Ball, which is the important part here for Bulls fans and a Bulls conversation. And so here's the thing. I know that yesterday when you pair this in with the fact that the Igor Dimon news came out, which if the Bulls are targeting another guard, still take that with a grain of salt as well. If the Bulls are targeting another guard, it makes some sense to alleviate one of the guards that you have here on this roster. We already know that Trey Jones is probably on his way out too, unfortunately. But if you do make that move and you go ahead and draft Igor Dimon, making a move if it's a package built around Daniel Gafford for Lonzo Ball, I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. And that's one of the things that the Bulls did do. I know that the signing of Lonzo Ball and signing him to extension was questionable by a lot of Bulls fans. My co-host over at Locked on Bulls, Pat the Designer, brings it up as a questionable move every single time we talk about Chicago Bulls moves. But if the thing about signing Lonzo to that contract, with it only being $10 million, it made it a very easily moved contract, right? And so when you look at the contract of Daniel Gafford's contract is $13 million. While it is more than Lonzo Ball's contract, it is within the matching rights. And since the Bulls do have a little salary cap space as well, that puts them in a spot where they can take on that contract. Now, they also have a trade exception of $20 million as well, so that could make it a little bit interesting there. I know Daniel Gafford was already here, and I know some Bulls fans are already going to respond, well, we already had Gafford. We could have held on to him. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, motherfuckers. It's done now, right? But, and that version of the team needed something different. Gafford's gone away, and he's been a team that's on a team that's been productive and even contributed to a playoff run and a finals run. So if it ends up coming back and you do end up bringing Daniel Gafford back in a deal for Lonzo Ball, I'm not mad at that. Matter of fact, even if you don't trade or draft Igor Dimon, if you trade Lonzo Ball for Daniel Gafford, a position of need, a defender, a lob threat, a rim runner, a solid shot blocker, not the most amazing shot blocker, but a solid shot blocker, Sign me up for that. That's a move that I can get behind, and a move that I think makes a lot of sense for the Chicago Bulls in what they need on this roster and what they're missing right now. So if the Dallas Mavericks strike out on Jrue Holiday, right, which is I think that's going to be a pretty tough deal for them to maneuver, because keep in mind, Boston is a second tax apron team, so they can't take back two players in a deal. So if they cannot make a move for Jrue Holiday, they look at Chris Paul or Lonzo Ball, I would hope, and maybe not because of the injuries, but I would hope that maybe there is a chance there that can happen, right? I'm just saying. I think that could, and again, maybe even if it's P.J. Washington, which I think P.J. Washington's contract's a little bit higher. Give me 1 second. Let me check this. P.J. Washington's contract next season is $14 million as well. So if you are telling me that the Bulls can make a move for Lonzo, for P.J., or for Daniel Gafford, really either one of those guys I'm open to, right? I think that P.J. Washington, with his ability to stretch the floor a little bit more, could be a nice fit with Modest. Or you can bring P.J. Washington off the bench, right? Or, whatever it is there. I'm not mad at either one of those guys. I can make a case for either one of those guys making some sense for the Chicago Bulls. Now, I'm not saying or trying to sell y'all that that's for sure what the deal is going to be or anything like that. But I would say maybe. Right now, there's a big question on if they strike out on Jrue Holiday, they're looking at Chris Paul, they're looking at Lonzo. Chris Paul, not unfortunately, that sounds like I want him to be hurt. But Chris Paul does have the benefit of the health side of that conversation, right? Like Chris Paul, for all the talk around Chris Paul as a veteran, whatever it is, what he is or what he is not, Chris Paul is still a player that has still found a way to be productive at every stop he's been on, right? Now, he's not the scorer that he once was at all. He only averaged 8 points per game last season. That's the second straight year of him averaging sub double-digit points. So there's that. But hey, Chris Paul quietly played all 82 games last year and averaged almost 28 minutes per game. So the health could be the thing that gives it up on that, right? So, I think that that's a thing that you look at in regards to that. But if the Dallas Mavericks come calling for Lonzo Ball, let me know what you guys think down below, those that are live in the chat. I'll put this up as a poll as well. Give me 1 second. I usually wait till afterwards to do the polls. Give me 1 second. Let me try to get the poll up. This isn't the most entertaining podcasting when I'm trying to put a poll up while I'm put a poll up. I've said that like 4 times now. That's a bit of a pause. That is a bit of a pause. But as I try to get the votes up, man, I would love to hear from you guys so you guys can tell me how you feel about this one. Let's see. Let's get this. How do you do this? All right. All right, let's see. Let's get some engagement in here. See how you guys. I want to hear you guys sound off on this one. All right, they need to make that easier. All right, there you go. Poll is up. Vote on that. I'll check that here in a minute. But so I'm interested in either one of those guys. It is what it is. So Keith says PJ Lonzo and P. Will, you can't do both. It's too much money in a case like that. So you can't do both. But then let's get to the other bit of rumor, right, that came out. And that was that the Bulls could be interested in making a trade for RJ Barrett. And this came out actually yesterday. And the only reason I didn't do a live stream on it yesterday is because of the source. The source on this sucks. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. It's one of the most untrustworthy sources you will ever find in basketball news and reporting. It's one of the people that I can legitimately say I hate in this game. And, listen, for all I know, he couldn't eventually sign a deal with ESPN. And now I've been on record saying I hate somebody that works for ESPN, but I don't give a shit. Right is right, wrong is wrong. This came from Chris Davis. First of all, he only spells his name Chris. The fact that he spells Chris like that, he should be questionable already. But he did say that the Toronto Raptors are quietly assessing trade possibilities for RJ Barrett. The Atlanta Hawks, Sacramento Kings, Chicago Bulls, and San Antonio Spurs are all showing early interest that could intensify as the draft gets closer. Chris Davis, I speak for the whole entire Bulls community when I tell you this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Stop talking on Bulls business. Because if you think that the Chicago Bulls are interested in RJ Barrett, right? Like, I get it. I understand that the Bulls have a trade exception. I understand that the Bulls are still looking for their star to develop or whatever else it is. But keep in mind, the Bulls got offered RJ Barrett for Zach LaVine. It was RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and I think it was 2 unprotected first-round picks and a protected first-round pick. 3 years ago, when RJ Barrett was still 21, 22 years old. No. Like, come on, man. Listen, when people come up with these trade rumors, at least try to make them realistic, right? Like if you're somebody who doesn't follow a team and you're going to try to make up a trade rumor for a team, please make it realistic. Okay, and that's not to say that RJ Barrett is a terrible player. He's not. He's going off back-to-back seasons, averaging 21 points, I think 55% shooting the season before last, 46% shooting last year. He shot 35% from three. RJ Barrett, at 24 years old, he's been in the league for 6 years almost, and he's only 24. That's crazy. And his contract isn't terrible. But come on, man. There is no way that RJ Barrett fits on the Chicago Bulls team as currently constructed. He just doesn't. Even if you trade Coby White in a separate deal, I still don't think RJ Barrett and Josh Giddey on the same team. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I have no idea what would happen there. I don't know, bro. I don't know what happens there. Come on, bro. I have no idea why people believe this. And it's one of those things that I saw happening yesterday. I saw when it was posted yesterday, and I saw who did it, and I was like, please shut the fuck up. Like, real talk. Please just shut the fuck up. Take that trade idea, ball it up, shove it right up your ass, Chris. Like, that's what I need you to do. Shove it right up in your ass. All up in there. Just get it all up in there. And shut the fuck up. What are we doing, man? What? Come on. Maybe I'm in the wrong game. Maybe what I should be in is just creating just fake ass trade rumors. Maybe that's what I should be doing. No, man. No. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? No. And listen, people saying I don't mind RJ Barrett. Okay. All right. I can understand that. I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. But the Bulls could have had it. They could have had it already, bro. And I don't know what the current makeup of this team and the fit. I don't know if I'm saying there is a fit. I just don't see the fit, bro. I don't see it at all. Sway says, not saying a trade, just a free agent. I don't know his status. Who are you talking about? Bol? Come on, bro. What the fuck are we doing? Bol? No, bro. Stop it, bro. Why do some sports fans get caught up in not even, I can understand sometimes getting caught up in mid players, but y'all get caught up in bad. Bol is a bad basketball player. He's a bad basketball player. A very bad basketball player. Like, y'all got to stop, bro. Like, people who argue me and they're like, he can do everything Wemby can. You're stupid. If you really believe that, you're dumb. You're stupid. Your mama should have breastfed you better. Bol's stats are worse than P. Will's. By far worse. See, y'all got to stop trying to listen. Y'all are the type of people who would, I know y'all talk yourselves out of pussy all the time. I know for a fact. Some of y'all talk yourself out of coochie on a consistent basis. Because if a team's calling y'all and saying, hey, we want Lonzo who's hurt, we'll give you Daniel Gafford for it, and you respond, hey, you want to take Vooch too? They should hang up on you right away. Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Just stop it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. These are the same MFers that want that back, THT back on the Chicago Bulls. Bro, that's another one. That's another one. I wish we'd stop with the Kaminga or Barrett rumors. I really just want to see Gideon Mata show that they can space the floor and Coby can fit in with that role season after AK asked for. No, but I do think the Kaminga stuff is legitimate. I don't know that just because there's legitimate interest doesn't necessarily mean that there's a legitimate deal that's going to get done. But I do think that there really are a legitimate interest from the Bulls on Jonathan Kuminga. I really do think that. Vaughn. So, and again, me and you have had conversations in the Discord and here. I don't want to see that happen, but I do think the Bulls do have some legitimate interest in Jonathan Kuminga. And maybe one could say, if they're interested in Kuminga, why wouldn't they be interested in RJ Barrett? Maybe. So, we'll see what happens with that one, man. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this, man. I wanted to talk about this. It's, one of the things that we try to do here is I always tell y'all that y'all can get everything, all the news, everything here. And so I wanted to talk about that move and get it done. Hold on. I think does my boy Penn have a Bulls trade? He posted a lot of RJ Barrett trade rumors. Let's see. He doesn't have one for the Bulls, so thank God. Thank God. Yeah, he doesn't have one for the Bulls, so thank God on that one. What is Kaminga's potential at this point? Here's the thing. Dead serious. Jonathan Kuminga does have potential. I think Jonathan Kuminga has starting potential in the NBA. I really do think that. But it's not all created equal. You also have to think about the fit on the team that you're on. And Jonathan Kuminga with Modest and the way that Modest is trying to develop and Josh Giddey, like you have all three players that all drive. None of them can really shoot consistently yet. Modest is not a good three-point shooter yet, not a consistent shooter at all yet. And I doubt that. And you throw in Coby to that mix as well, like that's difficult. That's just difficult basketball. So I don't know if that's like legitimate. Like I always look at things as the basketball on the court, right? That's where I always try to root everything in is the basketball on it. Like how will it work basketball wise? And that's going to be a really tough one to get to work basketball-wise. It just will be. So, this may be pushing, but I like P. Will and Vooch for Kaminga, and then trade Coby in our pick for. Listen, and see, this is fantasy booking. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. We should go after all right, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. Y'all starting the trip. Now we got Jaylen Brown. Like, if y'all think we got the assets to sign for Jaylen Brown, come on, man. What? Some of y'all need breast milk now. That's what it is. Like, I know that your mama didn't breastfeed y'all because she was probably doing drugs, but some of y'all need to go buy some breast milk right now. It can maybe help with a little bit of y'all brain development. Go buy some breast milk currently right now. Go do it. Whatever you got to do to get it, go do it. Because some of you, what the fuck, bro? That's crazy. All right, let's look at the poll, man. Let's look at the poll. So I asked if the Mavs want a Lonzo Ball trade, who should the Bulls get back? Daniel Gafford or PJ Washington. 78% of the vote went to Daniel Gafford. And I completely understand that. Yeah, I can completely understand that. But all right, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.